Okay, here we go. It's 422. This is video number 57. Doing the problem I proposed yesterday in video 56 first, and then I'll go in order. I probably won't be able to get this all into one video. So the problem here was that you're trying to paint the side of the swimming pool. You should understand by now that that means the lateral area, and the height is 5 yards. The height is 2 yards and the diameter is 5 yards. So you have to figure out if a gallon covers 120 square feet, how many gallons should you buy? And it's worth having a calculator do this problem. I'm putting it over here now. So if the diameter is 5 yards, then obviously the radius is 2.5 yards. Agreed? And 2.5 times the conversion rate, that is 3 feet per yard, comes out to be 7.5 feet. So that's what the radius is. You should be able to do that in 8th grade, even 7th grade, right? Okay? And the height, of course, is 2 yards. But 2 times 3 means it's 6 feet. About the height of an average guy, little greater, okay? So that makes sense for a swimming pool in the backyard, right? And obviously you can't paint the top, it's got water in it, can't paint the bottom, no one sees that, and so you're asked to find how many gallons of paint when you go to the store you must buy if each gallon, as they always say on the gallons of paint, covers X amount of square feet. So that's a fair question for a 8th grader. Well, again, I imagine in my mind unrolling the lateral area there. It's obviously a lateral question. And I have 2 pi, and then the radius, of course, is 7.5. So that's the length, and the height is 6. And now that means that the answer is going to be 15 pi times 6, which equals 90 pi square feet. So then you go down to the store and you need to buy X amount of gallons. This has to be put into feet. It can't be done in terms of pi. So I calmly multiply 90 times pi, and I come up to a 10th. Even that's a little exaggerated. 282 square feet need to be painted. That's square feet, okay? And how many feet does a gallon cover? 120, that's data. And so we divide 2.7. We don't even need this precision by 120, and we come up with about 2.4 gallons, but obviously you can't buy 2.4 gallons, so maybe to give it a little bit of extra coat, you'd be asked to buy 3 gallons. 8th grade problem, application of surface area, you should be able to do it. Okay, so we're doing excellent on the time, and I'll go right to work on problem number 1 from yesterday's assignment. I'm erasing the problem that was assigned to you. You've gotten 2 videos now on how to do these. You really shouldn't have any problem doing problems like this as long as you understand the basic idea. So there we go, erasing all this stuff and going right back to work. We need the space here, and we'll definitely need 2 videos to take care of our assignments today. I can see that. All right, so let's get right to work here. And we need to solve the first problem. It's a subtraction problem. I went online and saw some of the assignments turned in. A lot of you have this down now. It's obviously the cylinder minus the half sphere, which immediately tells you that it's pi r squared h minus 2 over 3 pi r squared. Still don't get that? Oh well, next year there's another year, okay? And again, they share the same radius, so it's pi 6 squared times 9 minus 2/3 pi 6 times 6 times 6. Why did I write out the 6's here and not here? Because I'm anticipating what I have to do. So now I just grab my trusty calculator, and I should have the work done over here anyway. There's the back one over there. And let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have, there we go. We have 36 times 9. So there we go. 36 times 9, which is 324 pi. Minus 4 times 36, 2 times 2 times 4. I'm avoiding, I'm not using the pi because it doesn't make a difference here. Okay, and there we go. Times 6 times 6, that's 4 times 36. And that's pi there. And I put everything in here. And I'm looking again, I'm trying to check my answers because I'm prone to mistakes when I do this. There we go. And then you clearly get 180 pi. So that's considered a basic problem. You're still mystified? Sorry, I wish we were in school that we could work together. That's the problems that the Common Core expects you to do, not so much the Regents' problems, which have a different focus. Okay. So let's move on to number 2. We're doing okay. We're at 7 minutes. Definitely have time to get through some of these. The problem number 4, I'm going to do in detail. Tedious and unimportant as it is, it's all over the place on the test. So we have to make sure that kids who are trying to learn this understand how this works. So let's get right to work on this. Just erase what we have here and move right along. And on this problem, you have a cylinder of some sort. This is problem number 2. Okay, and they tell you that the area of the top, that shouldn't be a big mystery what the area of the top is 25 pi. Oh, that's nice. There's a perfect square. And they want you to find the lateral area given that the height is 8. So, again, typical of 8th grade and Regents math. You're given certain variables. Now you've got to find what's going on here. And, of course, they want the surface area to 100. So let's do the problem, break it down and see what's going on. Since pi r squared equals area, right? And the area in this case equals 25 pi, then it follows instantly when you divide both sides by pi that r equals 5. You should understand that. I shouldn't spend a lot of time doing that. You should get that by now. The square root of 25 is 5. There's no mysteries going on here. Well, now you're done. Basically, since the volume equals pi 5 squared, there's your radius, times 8, okay? Then you have 25 times 8. Well, that's like saying I have 8 quarters, so that equals 200 pi. And then, of course, in this case, they asked it to a hundredth of a unit. So we just take out our trusty calculators. Sometimes they want it in terms of pi, sometimes they don't. You have to read carefully to make sure that you're understanding that. And let's make sure we got that down. Did I do the right one here? I might have to do this. Oh, they said they want you to find the lateral surface area. So I found the value there in terms of pi, but they wanted the lateral surface area. So I found that, And anyway, that's just an extra little thing that you were able to do with this. But the lateral surface area, of course, when I open it up, sorry, I didn't, I thought it was the surface area. It's the lateral surface area, but no big deal. Since the since the radius is 5, then it's going to be 10 pi. That's 2 pi r. 2 times 5 is 10. So that's the length of this, and the height is 8. And then again, 80 pi. And they want that number in terms of the square units. So I just multiply 80 times pi. And there it pops up. To 100, if you use your calculator, it's 251.33 square units. Oh, square, okay, so there's square units. And this would be 200 pi cubic units. You weren't asked to do this, but I did it anyway as I was walking along. And let's see, we're doing about 11 minutes. Let's see if we can get in the next one, if it isn't a long problem to do. And this would be number 3, which is a cone. Okay? So this is number 2. You should be able to get this in. I'll move it over just... No, I'm good. Number 3. And that way I can start with number 4, which will take me a while to do. Tedious, but I have to do it because it's on the test. And I want to make sure that you're in good shape there. There's my dunce cap or my cone. And the volume is 920 cubic centimeters. Again, I'm being very fussy about doing that kind of stuff. And the diameter is 15 centimeters. Okay, so on the homework, for those of you on the assignments, this was the correct answer. And this one I did not completely understanding the problem, but I rectified myself. And anyway, I didn't waste time finding out that you can do the volume as well. And it says find H, and again to 100. So that's their way of saying that you need to use a calculator. Okay, so we have 920 equals pi 7.5 squared times h divided by 3. So I'll take the liberty of multiplying 920 by 3, and I come up with 2760. This is my perception of the easiest way to do this problem, times 7.5 squared h. We divide 8 pi times 7.5 squared on both sides. Again, you have to use your parentheses here on your calculator. I've gone over that a number of times. Times 7.5 squared, and whatever that number comes out to be will be the height of this particular object. So there's no square root here because h is linear. Only the r is needs the radical. So when you put this in here, you come out to 100, and you come up with 15.62 linear centimeters. And that should be good enough for most 8th graders, certainly good enough for the test that you're going to be taking. So let's stop here, and we'll move on with 4 and 5 in a couple of minutes as soon as I'm able to upload this video. And then later today, we'll talk about some more problems that I want to go over that I mentioned briefly yesterday.